When I joined Australian Pork over a decade ago, I came into an industry where consumers didn't really have their head around pork. It wasn't part of the repertoire, and that doesn't even touch the restaurants. When I looked at the restaurant market, pork just was not part of the menu. And in that time, through the success of a lot of our Pork Star program, we've got to the stage now where it's unusual not to have pork on the menu, as opposed to be surprised to see it there, which is fantastic to see. And then when we look at consumers are getting their head around pork now. They're seeing it as a modern, fresh, lean meat that's great for everyday dining. But one of the biggest hurdles we have is getting consumers to cook it. There's been a lot of myths in the past which we've had to dispel. But the main thing now is to teach people how to cook pork and show them how easy it is. You're probably aware of the 10 minutes for the perfect pork steak. 6 minutes one side, 2 minutes the other, then rest it for 2 minutes, and then you're ready to go with a beautiful succulent pork steak, which is just a great midweek meal. And we've worked very hard in the marketing team to let consumers know that if they want to be sure that they're having Australian and not ham or bacon made from imported, to look for the pink pork mark logo. And we're working hard to get that message across, because we do find if consumers are aware, they would like to be able to choose Australian and not just have some misleading information that leads them towards something that they don't know where it's from.
Pork's never been better now. With the introduction of moisture infused pork, it is really, really good. And you can say with confidence to customers that they can go away and cook it exactly the way you want it to turn out for them. So I've never sold so much pork in my life to what I have in recent years.
The thing I like about pork is largely the price and its moistness and the variety of cuts that you can get.
So when the carcasses are coming in on the truck, they come into our store, we push them in the cool room, we break them down into the primals that we need for the shop. Carcass is good because customers want all the crackling on it. They want, they don't want that wet style of a pork, so they want the nice crackling and so forth. It gives us the opportunity to cut certain primals of pork to the customer's needs by having the whole form carcass.
This butcher gives me a lot of assistance. He tells me how to cook things, and it's just perfect. We're a busy family. I've got 3 boys, so I'm running around all the time with their extra, things that they need to do. So I need things that are quick and healthy to get to the table.
In our shop now, we have a great range of value-added pork products. We have our pulled pork pies. We do our parmesan crusted pork cutlets. We do our yakitori pork steaks, which is a Japanese twist. We have so many different lines that we do, and we rotate them around. And if you keep it interesting for the customers, they'll keep on coming back and asking what's next.
When I first started in the industry years ago, pork would be one of those items that was served with seafood, or it was done in a smaller component, or it was occasionally used, or it was relegated to the processed meats, the sausages and the those salamis and things. Whereas now it gets that I've got chorizo on the menu. I've also got a pork loin on the menu, and on busy nights we're doing pork belly, or we're doing a pork cutlet. We're doing something else with pork because people now expect to see pork on your menus. And it stands up there on the menu as one of the definite items that most restaurants will have on their menu now.
Well, when we looked at restaurants, we couldn't understand why it wasn't there, because many chefs talked about pork as their favourite meat, yet they weren't putting it on the menu. So we worked with the top chefs in Australia, basically working with them, making sure they got pork on the menu, and we found there's been a terrific trickle-down effect. And pork has, it's one of the magical beasts that you can use everything from nose to tail and everything in between. And it has been absolutely overwhelming to see that pork is a staple on menus across the country now.
Yeah, every part of the pork that we can possibly use, we use. And we have, we've over the course of 6 months, we've definitely used, from the rack through the butt, through the necks of pork, and I like cooking pork and I like cooking, so I'm always trying to use different cuts and keep things interesting and do different specials through the restaurant, which is great. Pork as a protein, and one of its benefits is that, in our country, it is actually an affordable protein. And so it means it can certainly be a better price point on your menu, which generally can guarantee more sales on your menu, and it can be a more, you can give a more generous portion of pork than you might be able to of other proteins, and it generally is a it's a winner for a restaurant, because we're all dealing with costs as consumers are when they're out at the shops and trying to find meals that you can put on the table with the right amount of protein. And given how good pork is, it's something that will definitely stay on our menus.
Pork's never been better for customers now. Like, you can say with confidence that when you go home, this meal's going to be just as we say that it's going to be, and it'll turn out spot on. And I'm getting so much compliments on our pork products in recent times because it is, a good product.